Freedom now. Type in freedom now. It is Tuesday night, December 9th, and we're going to have a immigration Q&A show. Come on in, say hello. I'm Latoya McBean Pompy. It's very nice to be back with you guys. Double tap the screen if you're joining on TikTok. Hello there. Hey there, Judy. Let me know where you're joining from tonight. Good to see you guys on Instagram, McBean Immigration TV as usual, and Facebook. Friends, immigration is this is such a crazy time with immigration right now. And each day we're having challenging discussions with clients, people who are in trouble, okay? People who have some serious needs. And it's such an honor to be able to help people during this time. I see that Queens is in the house, Atlanta is in the house. Hello, hello. As you're joining from Facebook, share this live session with your feed. It is the holiday season, and I want you guys to lean into the joy of the holiday season despite the craziness that we're seeing with immigration. Just lean into it, guys. And Bob Marley puts it this way, right? Lively up yourself, right? You've got to tap into the energy and the joy to shake yourself out of the fear and the craziness that we're seeing with immigration. So come on in and let's have a really terrific time together. Freedom now, freedom now. Let me know where you're joining from. And I'm going to go into your immigration questions as they come in. Good to see you guys. Good to see you guys. Tell me what is on your mind tonight. What is on your mind tonight? I know that you're seeing a lot of different news. So if you have questions about what you're seeing in the news, hopefully I'll be able to answer some of those questions. If you have questions regarding a case that is pending or that you're about to file and you're confused about something, happy to answer your questions. I see that Texas is in the house. Hey there, good night. Hello, good to see you guys. Friends, we had a terrific podcast premiere tonight on McBean Immigration TV with a wonderful colleague. He and I have tag teamed this and done it 3 times already. We talked about a lot of important immigration updates and news. So jump on to McBean Immigration TV. Thank you for the gifts, and check out the live session that I did tonight. Check out the podcast that we published earlier tonight with Attorney Ramsey. He is terrific. First question or topic is about TPS. Someone is asking about TPS for Haitians. So as you guys know, the government has announced that TPS for Haiti is coming to an end in February. Okay. And so you've got to work on your immigration opportunity. If you have a way of transitioning from TPS to something more permanent like a green card, it's not that easy for many people. You have to have a pathway through the family-based system primarily. For some people, they might be able to do asylum. Asylum is another option. But speak one-on-one with an attorney. Do some homework first to see whether you might be eligible for for a green card before you meet with an attorney, really. How long does it take? Someone is asking, how long does it take after responding to NOID, to a notice of intent to deny? How long does it take to hear back from the government? It really depends on what were those issues that they've asked you to respond to. If they were serious allegations, well, it can take months for them to get back to you. For some people, it could even take several months or even a year or longer to hear back from the government after submitting your response to the NOID. But if it was something very basic, it's very easy for them to just quickly churn it out to you and get you your decision, which hopefully will be an approval. Thank you for that. Freedom Now. I see that New York City is in the house. Terrific. Let's see. Someone says, I wanted to ask if there is a way to check to see if ICE is setting up individuals on marriage green card interview for visa overstay. So for visa overstay, generally speaking, there has to be a little bit more going on. There has to be a little bit more going on, from what I understand, in order for them to pinpoint you and say to you that, well, they won't tell you, but they would flag you for that interview, flag you for an arrest, potential arrest. There has to be a little bit more going on your record that would rise to that level, from what I understand. And I've done a video, a live session about the leaked USCIS memo. Watch that to get some more insights, but I have not seen a blanket policy that, okay, if you've overstayed your visa and you're going in for a marriage green card case, then, we're going after everyone. Everyone is potentially at risk for being arrested. The cases that I've seen this come up with are individuals who have a little bit more on their record, and there's a degree of suspicion that that something might be there. So they set these individuals up for an arrest. But guys, if you're facing any fears concerning an upcoming interview, speak with your attorney about it and strategize about things, and what is the likelihood of you being arrested at that USCIS interview. Thank you, guys. Double tap the screen on TikTok, and if you're new to me on TikTok, welcome. Follow me, follow us there, and also follow us on Instagram. Okay, Instagram. Asylum applications are still on hold for everyone. For everyone, asylum application is on hold. And yesterday, I reported out to you that like it seems indefinite, right? Based on what the president has said and what Kristi Noem has said, it seems like it's going to be a very long pause. But again, litigation can certainly change these dynamics. Okay. Let's see. I need a passport to come to the United States. Okay, so let's see. Let's get into some questions on this side. I have Instagram over here and TikTok right there. Let's see. TikTok, my apologies. This is so close. So close. Too close. Let's see. My wife's priority date is March 20. My wife priority date is March 2025. Any idea when USCIS might approve the case and move it on to the NVC? So this is a marriage case. Are you a U.S. citizen? U.S. citizen I-130s were moving very quickly. For most of 2025, things have started to slow down, and they will continue to slow down. It could be a year or even longer for the case to be processed. USCIS has announced, guys, as you know, that they will be slowing down the processing of cases so that they could do this whole re-interview and re-review and comprehensive review of these cases that are connected to the 19 travel ban countries, and also a deep dive into the vetting into the asylum applications that are pending. 1.4 or 1.5 million asylum applications are pending. I'm a U.S. citizen and I've applied for my husband. I wish you well with that case, Asha. Okay. I wish you well with your U.S. citizen filing immediate relative case. That is a good case to have. All right. Let's see. Let's see. I would like to ask you, how about those immigrants who came as a refugee in the United States? So, as you know, the Trump. So, where did they come from? Right. That's the first question I have for you. Well, which refugees are you referring to? Where did they come from? This administration is looking at all of these cases for these 19 countries, of course, 19 travel ban countries, and really trying to, they've stopped everything. But now, even with asylum, I'm really questioning which countries are they really targeting with this real deep dive of asylum cases that are pending. Don't know. Which green cards will be re-interviewed? Ali is asking from Facebook. So Ali, they're looking at people who have an approved case from one of those 19 people from the 19 travel ban countries, okay? They have an approved case since Biden took office, right? January 2021. That's the real date that they're going back to. However, the USCIS memo has said, well, we are not limited to that date, right? We're not only going to look at every case that Biden approved from those 19 travel ban countries. We could even go further back in time if we choose to. And if we want to re-interview someone, we're going to call them in for a re-interview. So primarily right now, they're focusing on those 19 countries for this re-review process, which again, I told you guys, there really isn't anything in our law that really allows for this kind of group process of re-interviewing people in mass numbers like this. It's usually supposed to just be a case-by-case basis based on the circumstances. So all of this, guys, it's going to be challenged. Hey there, Jude. Freedom now. Freedom now. Let's see. Someone says that I've heard that the U visa process has speed up, and people are getting their bona fide determination and their EAD within a year. I don't know about it speeding up. I can't confirm that. I don't know about that it's speeding up. I do know that it's still you could have a U visa case pending for 7 or 10 years. It's still a very slow process. But yes, the bona fide determination can happen within that first year with that EAD, the work permit. Let's see. All right. I just renewed my green card. Now I want to apply for citizenship, but this person has a domestic violence case from a few years ago, and he pled guilty with no jail time. Should I apply for citizenship now? I think it's risky. I really do think it's risky, okay? A domestic violence offense, even if it is a misdemeanor, can get someone deported. I would caution you to have someone look very closely at this case before applying for citizenship. I don't think it's a great idea at this time. Freedom now, guys. Good to see you. Come on in. Thank you for the gifts. And follow along as well on TikTok. Follow if you are new to me. Someone says, I have an immigration master hearing in February. It's an asylum case. Please, I need your assistance. Just contact us. Our phone number is 914-898-9488. And let's have a discussion because February is going to be here before you know it. All right. And there's some things that need to happen to prepare for a master calendar hearing. We would want to get your records, learn more about your history, and see if you have a way forward. That's really what we're going to be doing in the very beginning of this process. All right, guys. Double tap the screen. Double tap the screen. It's good to see you guys. Also, as you're putting in your comments, if you have achieved any degree of success recently, if you've gotten a green card, a work permit, U.S. citizenship, a visa, if there's something good, if it's good, share it with us, okay? Share it with us so that others will see that the system is still working despite all of the craziness. Share it with us so that we could be encouraged. I'd love to share your success story with others, okay? So please, please, please put in something good. Where in New York is your office? So the office is located in White Plains, New York, but we work virtually with clients all across the world. Today I spoke with someone in California, and it was so cute because he said, I'm so far away. Can I work with you? And you're in New York and I'm in California. I said, sir, that is not far away well, no, I did say, yes, you are far away. New York and California is quite a distance. But I said that we've worked with people in Indonesia, people in Africa, people in the Caribbean and Europe, all across the world. And so we've worked with people in much further away place than California. So we do work virtually with folks everywhere. If you're outside of the United States and you're having problems coming in, reach out to us. We'd be happy to take a look and see what's going on. If you've ever had a visa taken away from you and you've been sent back home and now you really need to come to the United States, reach out to us. We'd be happy to take a look at what happened there and what waiver might be needed to bring you back to the United States. If a waiver is needed, it's not needed for everyone, okay? Let's see. Let's see. Conditional residents can travel. Green card holders can travel. I have not heard of them turning people away who are green card holders who are from Venezuela with a Venezuelan passport. If anyone has heard of those types of stories, share it here, but I have not heard that a green card holder is being turned away from re-entering the United States because of that type of passport from one of those travel ban countries. I have not heard of that happening. My green card expired last year. Can I apply for citizenship without an attorney? You might be able to. You might be able to study for the test, focus on building, showing that you have good moral character. And, if you have had a pretty straightforward green card process over the years and you don't have a criminal record, you can try on your own, absolutely. But if you have any degree of fear or concern about doing this on your own, speak to someone about those fears and they will let you know whether you should work with an attorney on your filing or not. Not everyone will need an attorney, even during these crazy times. I don't have any news about the I-730 processing. Someone on YouTube says, I have a marriage interview in 2 weeks. I have lots of evidence, but no pictures of the wedding. I don't have a criminal record. Will there be any issues? So you might be fine. You might be fine. You say you have a lot of evidence, no pictures of the wedding. That's strange to me. Normally people have at least one picture or more, many more of the wedding day. Why is that? That might come up. It might come up. The government, when they interview couples during the marriage process, they're looking at everything as a whole, guys. It's never just only about one thing, unless it's a big thing, like, okay, you guys don't live together. Well, that one thing is a big deal. But something like this, no picture of the wedding day. I'm sure you have lots of other pictures, maybe if you guys dating and building your relationship, and certainly pictures over the years or months or however long you've been together as a married couple in everyday life, right? Because that's how couples do it. They take pictures during everyday life. So I think you'll be fine. You'll be fine, but prepare yourself for the interview. That's the most important thing. Prepare, prepare, prepare. If you need any help, you could always get my course online, marriage prep course. You could go to any of the sources here on social media, I should say, on Instagram and Facebook. You'll find the information there on how to register for my course. Not download, because you won't be able to download. It's not one of those where you can download, but pay for it. I think it's cheap. Pay for it and sit down with your wife for an hour and prepare yourself and let me get in your head that day. That's what you want. I want to get in your head that day on your interview so that you could really knock it out, okay? Go in there and win. Have that kind of mindset, all right? Freedom now, freedom now. Thank you, guys. Let's see. Who has any? I know that I saw one person has a master calendar hearing coming up soon. Does anyone else have a master calendar or any immigration hearings coming up in 2026? Let me know that you have a hearing coming up in 2026, and whether it's your first hearing or a second hearing. Someone says, talk about what an immigration hearing looks like. Okay, happy to do that. So, an immigration hearing, particularly the first hearing, is an opportunity for the court to know what do you have to say, so to speak, about the charges that are in the notice to appear document. Do you agree with the allegations or not? And then also, most importantly, what type of relief or application do you see yourself filing with the court? What is the reason why the judge should keep you in the removal court system, so to speak, and not issue a removal order against you? So that's your opportunity to share that information. Um, and for some people, they might even file a motion, have an attorney file a motion. It really depends on what's going on with the case. And then you get a hearing date for your last final hearing. And that last final hearing is the most important because that's the one where you will take some questions, be questioned by the government about your case and whether the judge should grant you what you're seeking. So that hearing is so important. We're located in White Plains, New York. That hearing is so important, guys. Have the right evidence for your immigration court process. And certainly work with an attorney. I see someone said that they have a hearing coming up at the end of this month. Anyone have a hearing coming up in 2026? It's time to be prepared. Get yourself ready for 2026 hearing because it's going to be here before you know it. Have someone, an immigration attorney, get your records from immigration to see what's on your record. All right. Let's see. Will getting a paid ticket affect my green card? A paid ticket. Not sure what a paid ticket is. Um, I don't know what you mean by that. Remy says, "Oh, I finally caught you live. Yeah, it's nice to see you. I'm glad that you're here. Thank you for being here. Let's see. Freedom now, guys. What are the latest updates on the I-751 removal of conditions? I don't think I have any latest updates on it. Just be careful with the filing. Make sure it's done right. If you do it jointly with a spouse and then you guys separate it, that's a tricky phase to be in. So immediately speak with an attorney about that separation or the problems you're having in the marriage. I met with a woman recently last week. She's so sweet. And she has her I-751 pending since last year. If you're watching, hello, hello. And she was concerned about, well, is there a problem with my case because it's been pending for a little over a year now? And I said, don't worry about it. You're fine. Just, it's a 4-year extension. You're fine. Just chill out a little bit. But then her next query was interesting because then she said, well, what would happen if, my spouse and I separate? Although we don't have any major things going on, problems in the marriage, I need to know. I need to be ready. How could I fight this on my own? And so I shared with her that there are opportunities of doing it on your own if you meet certain conditions. But she's still in a good place with her spouse. They still live together. But if you're not in a good place with the petitioner, please, 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 please speak with someone about it and strategize early. Can I have your number, please? Sure, it's scrolling below. I'm not sure how you're seeing this, but it's 914-898-9488. Strategize, strategize, strategize. I'd love to retain you. How do I get in contact with you personally and directly? Personally and directly. That's a great question. I'm hard to reach. It's by design, but the office is easy to reach. Easy to reach us at 914-898-9488, and they look at my calendar and we'll make it happen. Okay, just make it happen. It's that easy, guys. Um, I'm 2 years on my green card. I am on 2-year green card. That was Georgie. But I'm currently separated from my wife. Am I safe to travel? Someone is asking me on Instagram. Separated on the conditional residency card safe to travel? I say no to that. I say it's a little risky. Why I say it's risky? Because if customs decide that they want to ask you a few questions about your marriage, they can. And if they want to pick up the phone and call your spouse, they can. And then, if she's not happy with you, she's not happy with you. Do you want customs to know that? No, I don't think it's a good idea for them to know that. So it's a little risky from that standpoint. Is the government rejecting? Good question. Is the government rejecting all types of motion to reopen? They're making it tough. They're making it tough. Um, and they're playing some games in some parts of the country with respect to people who are trying to file a motion to reopen, a motion. Yeah, motion to reopen with, for instance, an immigration court to rescind a removal order that was issued in their absence. I know some parts of the South, they're playing games with some people who are trying to do things, and there are ways to get around that. You could sue the government because if they're intentionally hindering your process and going against their agency rules and procedures that they wrote, well, that's a problem, and that could be fought through a lawsuit. The BIA, I have not. You know, the BIA now, on the other hand, oops, I forgot that. I'm getting super comfortable here. And I forgot that Instagram sees me in a different way. Okay, that was embarrassing. The BIA, let's get back to a level of professionalism. Miss Professional is back. I'm back. So the BIA, on the other hand, I haven't seen them reject, like they're just reject the motion to reopen outright like that. I haven't seen it happen in that instance. There's usually, if there is a problem and it's a legitimate problem, they will kick the case back, back to you. But for the most part, I do know that it's some immigration court on their level where some of the games and shenanigans have started. Guys, we're fighting. It's a fight. It's like, oh my God. So yeah, it's a fight. You guys aren't the only ones going through it. Everyone is facing these challenges, okay? Um, but thank you for asking that. That's a good question. If you're having problems with that, hopefully your attorney is very aggressive with getting you the result that you need. Eunice says that my boyfriend got detained by ICE and he is in detention. What are the chances of getting him out? Eunice, I don't know him. I don't know anything about his background. I don't know about his immigration history, and certainly whether he has a criminal history. Is he subject to mandatory detention of 90 days because maybe he has an aggravated felony on his record? Was he under ICE's supervision and he just stopped showing up and violated the terms of the supervision? Is he a fugitive in their system? Is he a flight risk? Is he a danger to society? Those are the questions that we would inquire into. Okay, we would inquire into those issues to see whether he could get a bond for his release, and or a habeas. It depends on what's going on. Okay, so you could have a discussion with us on his behalf and share some information with us so that we could see if there's any way of helping him. Okay, thank you guys. Double tap the screen. If you're just joining on TikTok, welcome. Follow me on TikTok and on Instagram. Would you recommend self-deportation with ICE? Benny, I actually have videos on YouTube from months ago saying, before you self-deport, here are some things you need to think about. Here are some things you need to ask yourselves, okay? Questions. Think it through fully. First question is, will I ever want to come back to America? Do I think that maybe 5 years down the road, I'd want to come back to the United States? Well, if you think that you might have that type of desire, certainly speak with an attorney about, is there a pathway to come back? Will I be able to come back if I choose to? Some people don't want to come back, and that's fine. Good for you. But for those who might want to come back, figure out your pathway back before you leave. For some people, it is much, much better to voluntarily depart the United States if they're in a removal process. If they're in active removal and they ask for voluntary departure, that could be a very good thing for them because it would help them to come back to the United States a little easier than getting a removal order and being kicked out. Okay, it's like a gentle way of leaving. Okay, you're still being kicked out, right? But it's a different dynamic in terms of how to return. You are still going to be subject to maybe the 10-year bar, of course, not related to the removal order, but related to your unlawful presence in the United States. So you have to have a way to get over that unlawful presence bar in order to successfully return to the United States. So voluntary departure can be a great, powerful, strategic move for some people. It is not the end of the world for some people to voluntarily depart during, if you're in active removal and you say, okay, give me 6 months, I agree, I will leave in 3 months or whatever that date is, or 6 months. Um, let's see, let's go down a little bit here. Can I apply for an I-130 for my kids if I didn't mention them on my citizenship application? And furthermore, they're in a travel ban country. Well, you've committed fraud with your naturalization. Okay, so you might be a case for denaturalization. Just keep that part in mind before you apply for the children. Okay. Ooh, all of a sudden it got really quiet when she mentioned that word denaturalization. I just felt it. Got so quiet, like, what? Omission, when you omit a material fact, that is fraud. Okay, that is fraud. And having children, omitting them is material. So that could be a very big problem. So I would not seek violence for those children. It's unfortunate. And I would want to know why you didn't mention the children to begin with. Is Sudan, guys, do you know, help me out here because my setup is slightly different as you could see here. Let me go ahead and pull up the travel ban countries. Let's see. Sudan is on the list. Someone on TikTok is asking me about this. I'm from Sudan. Can I file my N-400 application? They're not going to do anything with it. They're not touching any applications for individuals from any of the travel ban countries under the proclamation. Can detained asylum seekers still apply for an immigration bond? Yes, they can. They can apply for a bond. And if you had entered the United States without inspection and you were caught up in that terrible decision a few months ago, which said that an immigration judge doesn't have jurisdiction over a bond hearing for an individual who entered the United States without inspection, you could seek a bond redetermination. I'll just leave this on the screen for now, guys. You could seek a bond redetermination, file that motion right away so that you can get a bond to be released because things have changed. A federal judge has stopped that decision, that bad decision. So seek a bond redetermination, okay? All right. Thank you guys for typing freedom now. Um, My wife is getting medical. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Um, oh, right. Amy says that I have filed a petition for my daughter, who is 35 years old, and it was filed in 2021 with my green card. I'm now a US citizen. Can I upgrade? You can. You can upgrade the case. You can inform the government that you're a US citizen with that a copy of your naturalization certificate. Let's see. Okay, so a super chat question for 199. I'll take it. I'll answer that question for $1.99. I think that is the lowest, by the way, the lowest super chat amount I've ever seen. But it's Christmas time. I'll take it. Thank you for that. Um, YouTube will throw that in. So thank you. Okay, so can I update people who is at risk, most at risk right now? That's the question. Can you update on people at most risk right now? At risk still remains individuals who have a removal order, people who have a felony conviction, of course, felony conviction, a removal order. Um, those are the individuals who are really at risk right now for being targeted. People who had filed a motion to reopen a case or PD case, prosecutorial discretion case, they're also at risk as well because, of course, and including some of our clients, old clients who we've done PD cases for, who, for some people whose PD case wasn't approved by ICE, but then it's pending right now at maybe the BIA. Level. So people who had a motion, people who had a PD case and the PD case was not approved by ICE, they're well known to that field office, whatever that field office is. Um, so people who are known, in addition to people who have fraud on their record and USCIS is evaluating their case, people who have marriage fraud allegations on their record, and people whose cases were denied in the past for fraud, the government is going back to those old cases and placing those individuals in removal. So those, I think, are those who are most at risk at this time. And then, of course, I'm going to add this one to the list. Anyone who's a Latino in the United States, right? We all see what's going on with racial profiling on the street, whether you're a US citizen or undocumented. The target is clear, okay? So and that's something that's a bit harder to control, but the racial profiling is profound right now and it's really disturbing. So anyone who's Latino, and you happen to be in an area where ICE is doing some sort of sweep, I think they're at risk as well for being caught up, being arrested, even if it's for a brief moment, being detained until the government figures out that you're a US citizen. So, yeah, all right. Thank you, others, for your super chat. Let's see. It's hard for me to, so, if you're putting in, you're putting in dates, all these dates and stuff like that, and numbers. There's no way I'm going to process it right now at 8:40 p.m. on this Tuesday night. That's just not fair. I'm not going to do that. Can we still apply for citizenship? Yes, citizenship is still on the table. It is still something that folks really should do to free yourself. Are you in New York City? We're in White Plains, in Westchester, so not very far from New York City. We used to be in New York City, actually. My country is on pause for citizenship. Do you think I should still apply for it? Uh, I don't really think so. I don't think so. Why do I say that? Others might say it's fine. I don't really care what they say. What I'm saying is this. Um, That's like, they're shining a light right now. They're shining a light on you're from a country that's on pause right now. They're shining a light. Why would you want them to, now saying, you're inviting them to say, oh, now look at me. I'm next, right? You don't want that. That's how I think about it. That's why I say I don't think it's a great idea for you to file for naturalization right now if you're from one of these 19 countries. Okay, let's go down. Thank you so much. Claudia says, thank you so much. Thank you for being here. How do I find out how long my husband has to wait in a pending status? Jamie, what type of case does your husband have? Is this a marriage case? There's on USCIS's website, they have case processing times. They could be really depressing to look at sometimes. Don't fully rely on them, but they could be like a little guidepost here and there for certain cases. What type of case is it? I don't know what kind of case it is. But USCIS's website can help you understand some things with case processing. Let's see. I'm not from one of the 19 countries listed. I've passed my N400 interview on November 7th. Congratulations. But I'm still waiting for my oath notice. Can the new policy memo affect my case? Yes, it's possible that it could affect your case because I don't know if I would say all hands on deck right now at USCIS with respect to these 19 countries. It's like all hands are on deck. I don't know. I don't work for them. I have no idea what's going on in there from that standpoint. But I do know, and I believe them when they said last week that we're going to slow down other cases because we have a higher priority right now that we're looking at. So I think it could impact those of you who have oath ceremonies pending. You're waiting on your oath ceremony. Hopefully you'll get that ceremony, the notice before the year is over. Keep us posted. Keep us posted, please. My friend had, oh, I've already answered one of your questions. My understanding with respect to these 19 countries is they're not working on any applications or visas. Let's see. Does the NTA automatically stand for deportation at the time of appointment? I'm not sure what you mean by that, stand for deportation. The NTA, the notice, it puts you on notice that the government has some removable charges against you and that you're to show up to court on a certain date and time and location for them to start that process of evaluating whether you should stay in the United States or not. Will we take a bond case only, as my lawyer doesn't do bond hearings? Well, we don't do these limited removal cases because to go on record in removal, it's a very serious thing for an attorney. You guys notice every time there's that issue. It's a serious thing, Claudia, for attorneys. And so we're not going to do anything on a limited basis. If someone says, I just want to hire you just for this one piece in court, no, we're going to say no to it. Oh, I just want to hire you for we're not going to do it because for us, we want to take you all the way until the end, and we want to work on a strategy that can get you all the way to the end, not for anyone to dictate and say, we only want you to do this piece for us and that's it. Well, no, so we wouldn't be the ones for that. How many times did I say no in that one? You could tell it's like a hot button. Why? Because people call us and they want to do stuff like that. And we said, no, we're not doing that. We're not accepting that fee agreement. I'm not going to approve that. All right. Hey there. Good to see you guys. Thank you. Thank you for all of the new people on TikTok. Double tap the screen. Please follow if you have not yet started following on TikTok. Follow us there and also follow us on Instagram at McBean Immigration Law. Okay. Um, Someone is asking, what does it mean to enter the United States without inspection? Would someone like to educate that person on what it means to enter the United States without inspection? Because I'm not going to do it. Not in front of, I don't know how many people are watching. Why would I do that? Um, uh, what happens now if your I-601A and the country you're from is on one of these 19 countries? I don't think they're going to do anything with that case, that application. I could be wrong. We do need some more clarification from USCIS about this sweeping pause here, but I don't think that they're going to touch any of your applications as far as making a decision on them. Do I need to worry as an asylee from Nigeria? My I-485 is in process. I don't think you have anything to worry about. I know that there's some chatter out there about, the additional countries that are going to go on this travel ban list, and I don't have any information at this time about which countries they're going to select for travel ban issues. And furthermore, if you're here in the United States going through a process like adjustment of status, a travel ban should not impact you, right? Because a travel ban impacts those who are entering the United States. So, I think you'll be fine. Um, okay. All right. The person whose super chat had all those dates on it now says to me, the dates on my super chat are not that important to my question. So why'd you put them there to distract me? Frankie, why'd you do that? So Frankie then says, does an older approved I-130 petition through sibling help? Um, it's limited. It's really limited, Frankie. If you're here in the United States and you have that approved I-130 through a sibling, it's not going to get you to the finish line, and it certainly won't prevent deportation. You're really going to need a little bit more than that. Um, and then to finish up that process, as you probably are already aware of, you're going to need a waiver, and then you'll have to leave the United States. So it's so limited in its protection, the sibling petition. It really is. Yes, it does have a good faith showing that you're trying to fix your status and such, but truly, truly, you're going to need a waiver to then go back home to your embassy to finish your process. Okay. Our interview is coming up, but we don't have a lot of photos because my husband was sick and laid up. All right, just focus on preparing yourself for the interview. Focus on what's on your application. Focus on the details of how you met, what the process was like leading up to marriage. Focus on your immigration history. Focus on your life together today, your living arrangements, your family members, any specific dynamics involving, your home setting. Know the names of individuals on his side, and he should know the names of key people in your family as well. Basic things like that. Honestly, immigration is really looking. They're really, really looking to label people as being part of a fraud case. That those lens were always there. That's the presumption, and then you have to prove them otherwise. But now it's a lot more intense. You really have to know what you're saying and doing. Otherwise, it could really be misconstrued and be taken way out of context. So you really don't want that. Prepare yourself. Get my course. People are still buying it. Sometimes I look at that email and I said, "Oh, we got another one." Another student. Yay, right? I haven't been pushing it as hard as I should, but how can I? We have clients who are facing very serious challenges, and so that's the first priority. Um, thank you guys. Welcome. I'm Latoya McBean Pompy. Thank you so much for being here. We're almost at 100 new followers on TikTok. Go ahead and follow, guys. Follow if you're new to me, if you've just been casually watching the videos, but you haven't said, okay, I'm just going to hit follow. Follow and follow my stories and follow us on Instagram as well so that you'll get all of the daily, our team, they post a lot. A lot of information is being posted, particularly on Instagram and Facebook. So just go ahead and give us a follow and stay plugged in. You could also stay plugged in by subscribing to our newsletter. That's also a great way of keeping in touch with us. Subscribe at mcbeanlaw.com/subscribe. Tonight we sent out a newsletter. It's our Q&A day. An immigration question was answered, question from one of you. And the questions, they're answered by attorneys. So yeah, give us a follow and subscribe to our newsletter. Let's see. How long does it take for immigration to confirm that they've received my work permit? They received work permit, green card, both were filed in August. My lawyer said he hasn't heard anything yet. I did mention to you that things have started to slow down a little bit. I'm curious to know what type of case you have, because some green card cases, like the humanitarian cases, they're taking several months to even issue receipt notices to say, oh, we have your case, we've received it, and we're processing it. Marriage cases, you tend to hear back from them a lot faster than this. I'm really curious to know what type of case you have. Do you have an office in Seattle that we could get a consultation with? No, we do not. We're not on the West Coast, but we do work with people in Washington State virtually. Okay, all 50 states. Thank you, guys. Our contact information is in the any bio, or you could just Google us. Um, you can tell when it's getting late. I just Google us. Sometimes my mother has learned over the years when people ask her, "Can I have Latoya's contact information? May I get her phone number? I need an appointment with Latoya." My mother just says to them, "Just Google her. Just Google her." She doesn't even try to sneak anyone in anymore. Because she knows me. Just Google her. Just Google. But it's 914-898-9488. Just Google her. My family, they know. They know that we're all business. All business. Okay. Sharon, guys, don't let me get in the way of your immigration solution. You're solving your immigration problem. If I'm not available to meet with you, don't let me stand in your way. Your life is so important. You've got to get your freedom, right? So we have attorneys at our firm who are smart. They're ready for you. They're passionate. They love working on these types of cases and helping people. Don't let me stand in your way. Okay, focus on getting your freedom. We've set up the infrastructure for you. Utilize it, right? Utilize it. Is it normal to wait 5 months after an N400 interview for an oath ceremony? That is a bit long. That's a long wait. Contact us for us to talk a little bit more about your background, okay? So, go be nice, is saying here, do I just want easy stuff then? There are some attorneys that just want that. There are some attorneys who will say, I will only take a case that I know 100% that with much surety that it's going to work out. I don't take complex cases. There are people who say things like that. You guys have never heard me say that. As a matter of fact, I used to say a whole lot back in the day. We work on complex cases. We do. Um, I would say to you guys, most of the cases that we work on, we can't even testify about because, they're strong, sensitive cases. All right. But go on McBeanLaw.com/success, and you'll see the cases. Dig deep, 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 deep over the years. We have testimonials dating back, I don't know, maybe going as far back as 2021 when we started posting them. But we have a lot of them on our website. Just dig deep and you'll see them on that page, and you make the decision about what you think we can handle or not. Thank you, Tommy. I appreciate that vote of confidence. So no, we don't just take easy cases. As a matter of fact, we don't want them. We really don't. We want to think. We prefer to think. Okay. We do. We prefer to think. Is it normal to wait for a work permit for 6 months in a marriage case? I don't think that's normal either. Okay, let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. We're going to be wrapping up momentarily because it is getting a little late. Ooh, someone says that I missed 6 questions on my N400 application. Will my application be rejected? It depends on what questions you did not answer. It really depends on what question. I'm not sure whether they're going to reject it or not. If you have a problem with your naturalization case, certainly reach out to us if they try to give you a hard time for missing those questions. Let's see. Um, okay, someone says it's ironic, right? It's I sometimes I miss these questions. I miss the questions, and then the one question that I do see from you is it's this. I subscribe to your YouTube channel and your newsletter over a year now, but anytime I comment asking you a question, you'll skip my question. Am I not supposed to ask a question during your live? I don't know you. I don't know you, so therefore I'm not doing anything intentional. I'm not targeting you. So I don't even know what question you have been asking, but it's so ironic that I see this one. And I don't know what question you have. Favor, maybe what you can do is this. How about this? How about this? Email the firm, go email us at info@mcbeanlaw.com and say, I'm the one from your live show who said to you, and you've got to do this thing too, who said to you, give us a little, flair, who said to you, I've been a subscriber for all this time and yet you've never answered my question. And here's what my question is. And ask your question, and then we'll try to get you up in the queue for to answer that question in one of our upcoming newsletters. Okay, so tonight just go ahead and do that, and I'll be on the lookout for your email personally. Okay, but you've got to mention that it's you. Okay, guys, listen, don't pretend to be her. say what exactly your handle is too, and just ask your question. We'll be happy to do that, okay? Um, all right. I don't know anything about the Somalians and what's going on over there and the big fraud issues. I see someone is asking me about that. I know nothing about those things. I just know that there's a big problem. And I know that the president is unfairly putting everybody into a pot, grouping people, which is always a bad idea. Always a bad idea. But I don't know anything about the fraud issues over there in Minnesota. Someone says, I'm curious about what are the 10 countries that will be added. I don't know. Don't know yet. Don't know what they're going to do. I suspect mainly African countries, maybe some Caribbean countries as well. But I would say African countries. Let's go down a little bit. Thank you guys for being here tonight. Can I withdraw? Listen to this question, guys. Can I withdraw my I-485 adjustment of status and continue my I-130 case because of all that's going on with USCIS? Don't, before you withdraw a case, speak with someone. That strategy doesn't make any sense. For most people. It could be a flag during these times. So certainly speak to someone before you withdraw your adjustment of status case, because it could be a problem. I shared recently on social media that I met with a woman who had withdrawn an I-601A waiver several months ago. And that same month of withdrawing that waiver, USCIS issued her a notice to appear in immigration court and began the removal process. And this is a woman who's an older woman who's been in the United States for, I think, a long time, if I remember clearly. And this thing happened. Guys, be careful with filing and be careful with withdrawing. It's a tricky time. It really is a tricky time. Anyone else's dog loves to just get out of his bed and shake. That's what this one does all throughout the day. He gets up, shakes, goes back to bed because he realized, what else am I going to do? There's no food around. I'm just going to go back to bed. That's what that little one does. We're currently here in the Philippines waiting. Yeah, freedom now. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Indira. I see that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Stepmonic, I see that. I appreciate it. Oh, let's see. Going to end momentarily. What do I think is going to happen with birthright citizenship? It's tricky. We knew it was going to go up to the Supreme Court. We know that a decision will be coming out, maybe coming out around June of next year. Not any, maybe it will. It's hard to say. I really think that they're going to do the right thing. I think that the Constitution is clear. I think that the intent of the drafters of the 14th Amendment, it was clear. It was clear. And I hope that this particular Supreme Court sees that this is a clear, no-brainer issue. I don't see any reason why we should not, why we should limit citizenship in any way at all, from all different angles, which is the attempt right now, not just with children who are born of non-citizens and non-residents. The attempt to strip citizenship is happening on many different sides of things. Guys, open your eyes, pay attention, see what's going on. It's really a coordinated effort to weaken citizenship, the rights of citizens, US-born citizens. There's a lot of things happening to weaken their voices. In addition to stripping citizenship from people who are babies who are born here. So there's so much happening right now. I think they're going to do the right thing. Let's see. I think they're going to do the right thing. We'll pray they do the right thing for sure. Can you give me your number again? Sure, it's 914-898-9488. And it's also in the bio there on TikTok. Are we starving the dogs? No, we're not. Have you seen our dogs lately? They're so fat. They're overweight. It's embarrassing to go to the vet. Get on the scale. You know how it is. Get on the scale. They're so fat. They're huge. I like to see the big fat belly on the dogs. So they are so blessed, trust me. That's cute. All right, guys, I've got to go. It was great being with you tonight. You had some great questions. I might be back with you guys on Friday for maybe an immigration news roundup of the week. So stick around, stick around, stick around. Follow on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. Follow so that you're plugged in, and reach out to us, guys. Our office is open Monday through Friday. The phone lines open up at 8 a.m. and they close at 8 p.m. You could call to book your appointment. On the weekends, phone lines are also open from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. We're here for you. Book your appointment with us. And thank you so much for being with me. Hang in there. Things are tough. It's hard for us lawyers too to even to talk to our new clients, because we share it's a lot of negativity now, but with hope. If anyone has ever met with me, I like to always go down the road of, okay, I want you to understand the worst case scenario, because I don't like surprises and I don't think you should be surprised either. So I talk about, okay, here's what we could do for you if we see something, if there's something there. And then, okay, here's what could happen if it goes in this direction. And here's the worst case scenario. So you're all covered. That's how my approach. It's not just a sales pitch. It's really information that you could take away for your life, okay, to make your decision. And if we're the ones that you want to work with, we're here for you. Just reach out and book an appointment with us. We'd be happy to meet with you. Guys, thanks so much for being with me tonight, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.